What's up, guys? Today we're gonna do a video on what I think would have helped me out when I was starting out on SimplePlanes. So we're gonna talk about how to build planes with fuselage blocks. We're gonna talk about building nose cones. We're gonna talk about custom cockpits and nudging, which a lot of people have questions about. And we're gonna talk about wings and wing placement. And I might do a part 2 if I after this video there's some stuff I think I haven't covered. So let's start out with the fuselage block. Now, why you want to build with these is because building a plane with the straight blocks and these, I think it's a lot harder. And building with fuselage blocks, it just really makes your plane look a lot nicer, in my opinion, when you build with them. Don't get me wrong, there's probably some really good planes built with the with the straight blocks and regular blocks and everything. It's just, I think it's easier. Not easier. It's just better looking, in my opinion. So we're gonna start out with changing the length to 5 units, and obviously that changed how long the block will be. And then the rise you could change by 0.25, and it changes the height from one side to the other, basically. And now what you can do with this is you can make some slanting blocks. So watch this. I could go like that, and now we have a downwards angle up here and a flat angle right here. And then so how I'm going to do this is I'm going to go like this, and we're going to go to there. That looks good. Alright. And then run is basically how it goes from left to right. And the farthest you could go on rise and run is 2.5. Yeah, 2.5 units, and the farthest you could go on length is 5. See, if I click it, it doesn't go any farther. So now we're going to talk about the corner style part. Basically, this changes how this part looks. So if I change it to smooth, it starts to get a little more like a square, and you change it to hard, and it looks a lot like a square. It is a square. And change it to circular, and this is where it's more useful. I can make a elliptical, I guess would be the word, fuselage, because if I put curved on, it looks like that, but if I switch to circular, it looks like that. And then manual is changing each corner to whatever you want it to be. So I could change that to circular, change that to curved, change that to smooth, and leave this one at hard. And now we have that. And that could be used for a lot of stuff. I usually use that when I'm building my cockpits. But for now, we're just going to put circular on, because that's it. It looks a lot nicer once you start building up to bigger widths than 2. Alright. And now we're going to talk about nose cones. So this is the fuselage nose cone. Basically, this is what you would use to put a aerodynamic cap on the front of your plane. Now, I personally don't use them because I don't like how, if you see this part right here, where it flattens out like that, I don't like how it just doesn't curve like that. It like flattens out and then angles down and then angles down and then angles down again. And it only looks good once you get to the very small length, and even then, it's still not curving the right way. So what we could do is if we want a sharp nose cone, we could take this, take the rise off, and we could go like this, change it down to 1 so that it curves down up here and curves up down here. Change the length so that it looks a little bit better. And then we change it down by 0.5 and take the length down by 2 units. And then we change it down to 0, and then we take the length off by 2 units, and now we have a basic sharp nose cone. And if you wanted a rounded one, we could change these up to 1.25, change its length to 0.75, and then make them the width and the height 1, and then we just keep on going until it starts to look like a nose cone. So see how that didn't work right? So now we have to make it longer. And now we have a rounded nose cone. Save real quick. Alright, now we're going to build the back part of our plane real quick so that I have a little bit more stuff to work with. And so if you want your back to curve up, I would usually take down the width and the height by 0.5 units and then put the rise up, and that makes the back of your plane curve up. And then change the width on your second block down by, you change it down by 0.5, and you change the length also to about 1 block lower, I would assume would work out. Yeah. And it takes a while to make sure your plane, to get your plane looking how you want it to. This is just how I usually build my stuff. And then we just, perfect. I'm gonna change that. See, this is what I like about SimplePlanes. You just go back and change it easily. You don't have to spend forever trying to. Alright, so we're going to move this back here, because now I'm going to talk about custom cockpits and nudging at the same time. So what you're going to do to make a custom cockpit, like on my Mirage, here I'll show you, to make it look like that, or that, what you're going to want to do is take a fuselage and change it to manual, and then you're going to change corner 1 to circular and corner 4 to circular and leave these 2 as hard. And you're going to do the same thing with the back. And then it helps to get it painted also, the color that you're going to want it to be, so that you can like distinguish between them. And now I want my cockpit to be up in the front over here, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out what the width is. Since this is an exact copy, it's going to be like this. And then usually I'll do 0.5 less if I'm just building a some kind of plane, is what I think I would usually do. So, and then you take the length down to whatever you want the front of your cockpit to be, and you change the rise to whatever you want the angle upwards for it to be. So then this is where I'm going to talk about nudging. Basically, this is only on the computer or PC so far. What you're going to do is you're going to hold down Shift, and then you're going to press either W, A, S, or D. And what this does is it moves the part over a very slight amount. So you press S to go down, press W to go up, press A to go right, or you press D to go left. Or no. You press A to go left and D to go right. Sorry, I wasn't looking the right way. We're just going to place that again. Oh, and you press Q to go forward, or E to go forward, gosh, and Q to go backward. And, yeah. So that's how you nudge, and it helps out a ton when you're building. I have a little bit of I think I have a cold, so sorry if I don't sound amazing right now. Alright, so we're just getting this blended to look how I want it to look. And so far it's looking pretty good. So I usually go like that, and I changed that part, the height, and now we have a slight curve. And then what we can do is we can go down to, see, this happens a lot. Okay, so we go down to 0.25, and then we nudge it forward so that it fits there. And now we add another section, and that also happens a lot. You gotta nudge that out of there. And then I like to make the width a little bit about 0.25 shorter than the height. It makes it look a little bit better. And then we just change the length. And there. That happens a lot too. Just replace that. And then I want this back part to be fuselage, so we just change it to be like that. And now I'm not liking how this back part looks. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna change the height and the width to whatever I feel like it should be. And we're gonna add another section. And now it looks a little bit better. And that's sticking out, but that actually helps out a little bit, because then I'm gonna do a different style landing gear for this plane. I can go like this and place some landing gear right there. See, that a lot actually. So now we have the cockpit looking like how we want it to, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the actual cockpit and we're gonna nudge it so that it fits inside of this fuselage block. And what this will do is, you might think you wouldn't be able to see, but the way the camera works in this game, you could see through the block that it is placed in. So I can actually see through this part down here because it's touching it. It's actually touching it, so it lets us see through it. And that's how you make a custom cockpit. And I'm gonna change a couple of colors here so that it looks a little bit better when it's done. We're gonna change this so that it's I like that color. Alright, we'll go with that for now. And now we're gonna talk about wings and wing placement. So what I usually start out with is, I usually go and put unbreakable wings on because those help out a lot. But for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna go with regular wings. That's why I was going to sub-assemblies. Sorry. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna get it into the right place. And since it was having a hard time, we're just gonna nudge it back into position. And so what you want to do with the vertical stabilizer is you want to have it in the back of your plane usually, and you always want it pointing upwards, or I guess you could have it facing downwards, but like this. But that, I don't know, it's a lot easier to have it up on the top part. And you want the airfoil to be symmetric always, and I'll talk about that more later. But you want the yaw, you want the control surface type to be yaw, and you want it to be inverted. And then you wouldn't really want any trim, and plus I don't know the key binding for that yet. So now we're gonna put our horizontal stabilizer on, and what these do is they allow you to pitch. The vertical stabilizer keeps your plane from like veering off to the left and right, but what this does is it allows your plane to pitch up and down. So we're gonna make them like this, and you're gonna change the airfoil to be symmetric for now. Sometimes I make them semi-symmetric, but for since this is for more beginners, I'm gonna keep it symmetric. So then we're gonna mirror the plane and save, and then we're gonna change control surfaces to be the same color, and I'm gonna do this real quick. There. Alright. Save again. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna switch up to the primary wing, and we're gonna put that usually just behind the cockpit. And I'm gonna take these and I'm gonna have them down here since our or horizontal stabilizers are up so high. We're gonna nudge them up a little bit so they fit. And then we're gonna take them and we're gonna make them big enough to where it takes the center of lift, which is the blue ball, up to center of mass, which is the red ball. Man, I don't know why, but I'm starting to get a little bit of a cough. Anyways, you're gonna make the wings as big as you need to, and we're gonna mirror it to see how far that goes up. So now if you don't want the wings to get any bigger, how you would fix this is you would put dead weight in the front of the plane. Now how you do this is you go up to here, you press on the symbol, and you add dead weight. You can put up to 1,000 pounds per fuselage block. So how we would fix this is the weight is too far up front, we would just go like this. Sorry, and yeah, so I have this pretty decent size. Don't want to invert that. Anyways, we're gonna make the roll control surface just a little bit bigger. And you want the airfoil to be semi-symmetric. And now I'm gonna talk about what that means, finally. So semi-symmetric, or okay, symmetric means you're not getting any lift in level flight. Semi-symmetric means you're getting a little bit of lift in level flight, and flat bottom means that you're getting a lot of lift in level flight. And how you change that is you just click on it. Semi-symmetric and flat bottom. So usually I have the airfoil as semi-symmetric on the front plane, or on the front wings, and on the back wings I might have it as semi-symmetric too, because I like my planes to get a lot of lift so you can fly them at low speeds. Like if we go, hold on, let me save. If we go down to my Mosquito, if we look here, you can see that's semi-symmetric, and so is that. And I also use Stabilators on it because I think it looks a lot cooler. See, watch how quick I could take this. I could take off in this plane, like immediately take off. And then we'll go over here, and we'll land. And I'm not the best at landing, so I mean, might crash. For some reason I could land on the carriers pretty good though. I don't know how. Here, I'll show you the stabilators real quick. So you can see them, all the entire wing surface is moving. And I'll actually talk about that in this video too. So that's why I use semi-symmetric on the back sometimes. And now we'll go down to tutorial plane. And now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make sure that this is in the right place first. Oh, I didn't mean to click on that. So we'll try and fix this with the engine placement. So I'm gonna put the engines, I think, right here. I think that would look pretty good. So I'm gonna nudge them so that they're touching the wings so that it doesn't look weird. Just trying to get the right camera angle, make sure. There, alright. And now we're gonna nudge them like this so that they're partially inside of the plane so that there's not that weird little gap right there. And now we're gonna take out the inlet, which provides the air for your plane's engines. And we're gonna just spawn the plane and see if the engines work. And they do. Alright. See, if they didn't work, it would pop up with this annoying message that pops up every time I build a plane. Here, see if it will. Just do this. That always pops up whenever I'm building any type of plane. It always pops up, and I sit there for 30 minutes trying to fix it. Anyways, we're gonna go back and we're gonna put our intakes on. And yeah. And then I'm gonna change the cockpit color to be light blue. Makes it look a little bit more like glass. This is kind of looks like a Glossier meteor, like the front of it does. Anyways, we're gonna change, or actually we're not gonna change anything right now. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the wing landing gear. And normally I would not use them. I would make my own landing gear, but this is stuff I wish I knew when I was starting out. This is not stuff you need to know when you're like a year into the game. Because I basically just downloaded some planes and figured out how to make it myself to make the landing gear. So we can see that this flies, and I just crashed into the water. So we're gonna take off again, and we're getting really low frame rate for some reason. Alright, so it's flying pretty good. I actually didn't think it would fly this good on the first try, but you can see that it's pitching up like a lot. So what we're gonna do is, first of all, I'm gonna change this so that it is turnable. Alright, it already is turnable. We're gonna change this to semi-symmetric. And this will get you a lot more lift in level flight in the back, which will in turn not cause the plane to pitch up, because the back is lifting up and the front is lifting up, so it's just an equal amount of lift all over the plane instead of just in the front. And actually, it has a little bit too much lift in the back now, but that'll fix itself at higher speeds. And that's where dead weight would come in also. Do like a dolphin dive into the water. See, you would probably want to put dead weight in the back of the plane instead of just adding more lift. Or not dead weight into the back, dead weight in the front. Alright. That flies really good. And now we'll do stabilators, and that should be the video. So we're gonna go to gizmos, and we're gonna just take out a small rotator, and we're gonna leave that over there for now. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take a random fuselage, and we're gonna change its corner style to hard, and its height to 0.25. Now we're gonna change it just so that it's like a rectangle. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna figure out how we need to change the rise also. So we're gonna figure out how this will blend into the fuselage. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move this up here, and we're gonna move it down one so that it fits. And then we change the width so that it just has a flat area to put the rotator. That's all we're trying to do, is make a flat area for the rotator. Perfect, I guess. Alright, that'll work out for now. So we're gonna change the range of motion to 10 for now, and the speed to 30. That's usually what I start out with. And then, so we have to change the input to pitch, and then we place them like this. And now what we have to do is we have to make the attachment point of the wing in the middle of the control surface, or sometimes it could mess with your plane. So now it's in the middle, pretty much in the middle. I guess I could go like that, and now it's in the middle. And we go like that, and that should balance the forces, I guess. I mean, I don't know if it actually works like that in SimplePlanes, but I like to do that to make sure, because you build your stabilators weird in SimplePlanes, your plane will flip out and do all kinds of weird stuff. And then you don't want any control surfaces on it now either. And now we're gonna go ahead and see how this works. And you can see that it's kind of unstable, because this plane probably shouldn't be using stabilators. But as you saw in my Mosquito, it uses stabilators and it flies pretty good. I'm trying to think of any other planes I built that use stabilators. I don't think I have any downloaded. Oh, the Hornet. Oh, that's not it. That's my my old Halo Hornet that I built. I guess I don't have any others downloaded, but with this one, you can see the rotators are all nudged in. They have 10-degree motion, 30-degree speed, and the pitch is on there. And if we take, and we're just going to take a look, you could see that they move. And as you saw earlier, it flies really nice. A lot better than it would with actual control surfaces, actually. And I also added afterburners to this thing, so it goes like ridiculously fast. If I got it up high enough, it might go Mach 3, honestly. I never tried to, but we'll see. That'll be. I don't think it'll go Mach 3. It goes Mach 2 for sure, though. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching.